Is your brand actually evolving, or are you just changing some paint and replacing some bar stools? Or, as that old school saying, don't just put lipstick on the pig. Because if your interiors and branding aren't aligned, how do you expect your team or your guests to connect? Here's the truth no one really says. Design updates don't fail because they look bad. They fail because they don't connect. The team doesn't believe in them. The guest feels a disconnect. The space doesn't reflect the brand it claims to be. So, when you are leading a legacy brand or refreshing a format that's overdue, changes are always going to bring friction. Not because people resist the progress, but because they are afraid of losing what's made it work in the first place. So, what happens? Designers, will start with design and mood boards. Marketing refreshes the visuals. Ops races to hit deadlines. But no one's really aligning the space and the story and the guest experience. This is where most rollouts tend to sometimes go sideways. Not from the lack of taste of design direction, but from the lack of alignment. We look at a change as an ecosystem: brand, design, layout, and guest experience priorities. Priorities, always. They all have to evolve together because today's guest isn't really reacting to trends, they're reacting to consistency. And if your interiors say one thing and your brand says another, your guest feels it before they even sit down. The smartest brands know that if you don't address the gap now, you'll spend more later on trying to fix the symptoms that were rooted in strategy all along. That's not design, it's damage control. So, if you're in a season of change, pause before you pick anything. Start with your story, the brand, the one that's already worked, because if it hadn't, you wouldn't be asking this question. So, what are you adding now to it and why? What is the elevated guest experience you want your guests to feel? And what's driving that shift? Once you're clear on that, translate that into every guest touch point, from the space and the layout to the design and operations. Every moment should echo that intention, from the first step into the last impression out. Thanks for listening.